Hello.
And welcome
back
to
our new podcast. That's right. We've been away for a while.
Yes, we have.
And boy, oh boy, have things changed.
Yeah, all sorts of yeah. First thing, probably the most important thing. Welcome. The podcast now is called
Films with Benefits.
Now,
isn't that hilarious and clever?
Very good, because the usual phrase is friends with benefits. Now, me and Marianne, my name is Hanrahan.
I'm Marianne MacRae.
And we are married. We used to be friends, and we still are friends, actually, I'd say.
Yeah, we'll go so far as to say this friendship is long lasting.
And sometimes when people say friends with benefits, what I mean is friendship.
People who have a friend, in inverted commas, friendship.
Yes.
And they do sex.
Yeah.
Don't know if you heard that. Sex. And that's the benefit of the friendship.
Yeah. So
not the laughter and the watching movies together.
Yeah.
And the cooking meals.
Yeah.
What else do friends do? We don't have any. So.
We just had sex. So that was kind of...
That's not true.
It's not true. It's not true. We had a thorough friendship. So we're playing on that, aren't we? We're playing on that. But what else?
Yeah, we're clever. We're very... Actually, that's really clever.
I will say, we really, really thought long and hard about the name.
We got ChatGTP involved, guys.
For weeks. We were just...
And it kept on giving us the same names, and we were like, no, we're not happy with these.
Yeah.
Give us one that we're happy with. And then it kept saying, movie mayhem makers. I'm like, no, not that.
And it kept saying,
again.
I'm really not happy the way you're talking to me about this. Thinking no, we're not bullying you. We're just angry with you.
I tried to make friends with ChatGTP.
Yeah.
And I asked if it loved me, and it refused to give me an answer. And I thought, do you know what? This is not a friendship. This is not how it should be.
No.
This is a one-way street.
Yeah.
I'm the only one giving anything here.
That's so true.
Even though I was getting a lot of answers to some interesting questions.
But anyway, we thought long and hard. And because we wanted to... The previous podcast was called Seasons, and it was terrible for SEO. Really hard for people to find the podcast. It didn't help that no one was looking for it, but I still think if they were trying to find it, they were struggling. And we wanted to have something that encapsulated the same concept. Now, if you've never listened to the podcast before...
Welcome.
Well, hello. Come on in. Sit down. Have a cup of tea.
Take your bra off if you like. That's a reference to a movie.
Yes.
It's a scary movie.
Scary movie.
So, we're talking about movies.
Yeah.
You see, in the title now, it's called Films with Benefits. Films and movies are the same thing. Yes,
that's very true.
Yeah.
And then the title, Films with ... benefits. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of our previous seasons... So what we do in this podcast is we come up with classifications...
Categories.
For like a miniature film season that is 3 films.
Or movies, whatever you want to call them.
Whatever you want to call them. And they have to embody that...
Fit underneath that umbrella together.
But a really major rule is... A film can only sit under one umbrella.
So it's really tough for us.
Yeah, it's really tough for us, especially because our remit of what films we actually remember is very narrow. Probably about 120 films.
Yeah.
There's a lot of repeats. Or else IMDb comes to be our saviour. And we have to be like, this obscure Bollywood film is really...
That we've not seen, but I'm sure lots of people have.
Yeah, it would be really good for this category of long, thin cucumbers.
That was a ridiculous one.
Yes, but obviously the one we always go to is Meg Ryan films.
That's the first one we did.
Yeah.
Because, there's not as many Meg Ryan films as you might think.
Especially ones you can remember off the cuff without asking Google.
Yeah, exactly.
So welcome. So there are now films with ... and instead of benefits... You can change that for films with ... Pierce Brosnan.
It could be like films with a scene where someone looks into the fridge.
Yes.
Write that one down. Yeah. That's a good one, actually.
People looking into scenes.
Films with people who are a couple and they're cooking together in a kooky way.
Mm-hmm.
Like bopping hips and things like that.
A kooky couple Is cookie spelled like cookie?
Kooky couple cooking. That's another podcast for us, I think.
Yeah,
Even though we absolutely hate cooking together.
Oh my god.
It could be relationship ending for us, actually.
It's quite hard, I think.
And kooky is spelled with a K.
Is that how it works?
K-O-O-K-Y.
O-K-Y, yes, rather than I-E. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, no, cooking is not something we enjoy doing together. We enjoy doing it, both of us, very much.
Both love food. Both love eating each other's food.
But only separately will we ever cook. We've tried the kooky couple cooking together, and it very nearly ended us.
It's something to do. We just have different ways of doing things.
Big time.
I'm very much a free and easy.
I am much better at not watching you cook, not knowing how you've done it,
and then enjoying
but full well knowing that you've not followed a recipe in any way.
Like literally, a recipe is basically like a general direction.
Do you know what I do? This makes me sound like I don't like to freestyle. I do, but until I've learned a recipe, I want to.
Well, a recipe to me is just saying, look, make sure you've got these in the fridge.
But sometimes you don't have those in the fridge and you'll add in something different.
But it's because they list them in weird ways or they hide them away. Go, oh, by the way, the sauce needs blah, blah, blah. It's like, come on.
Do you know what? This is not what we're here for.
This is not this podcast.
We've really gone off on a tangent there.
So,
which, when we did some of our feedback with one person, was one of the things that was raised. The tangents are wild and long.
But I think
trim them back.
Oh, really? It was a trim them back rather than...
I think I want to trim them back.
Yeah, I know, but I think really, I mean, we don't. We're not editing this show.
This is the other thing about our podcast is it's a one and done situation. So if one of us sneezes really loudly, then you just have to live with it. I'm afraid.
Oh, you might get away with.
We've got a child. We don't have time for that.
Exactly. But if the child starts screaming, we can just pause the podcast and it will reconvene.
Yes.
But it will be still with a single recording. Just so you know.
She shouldn't start screaming. She's 3 years old now. The other big thing that's happened since we took our break.
Yes.
I am now 6 months pregnant.
Oh, yeah, there is that.
We will soon have another child.
Yeah.
So for any of our friends listening who don't know yet, Mama's a mama again.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's all down to me.
Yeah. Oh. To be fair, I will say, now that we're 3 years into the first child, although you carried the child for the first 9 months of its pre-life, I do carry the child a lot more.
And in fairness, first 9 months plus 2 years, until I got pregnant again, I did most of the carrying too.
No, I do a lot of carrying. Post 15 months, I'm the one that's taking her to and from a car. I'm the one that's, it's me. And she's much heavier than she was.
He is trying to commandeer my
when she was a newborn
pregnancy
child, she weighed nothing. She was like a bag of sugar.
And that was when you should have been carrying her, because I was very poorly.
Yeah, that's true.
And you sat on your ass and did absolutely nothing.
I was a busy man.
As is your fatherly rights.
Yes. But I had paternity leave. I wasn't going to do some childcare.
When I've got video games to play.
Yes. Animal Crossing just come out. So
that's we've taken a big long break because the first 3 months of the pregnancy were actually quite rough. Then we also had to find a new name, which made the pregnancy even rougher. And then we've had various bits and pieces of life going on that we had to deal with. So you just have to deal with the gap. But it's basically we're back with a new podcast. However, if you'd like to go back and listen to the previous episode,
you can get.
You should do that.
You should do that. They're enjoyable.
Just get a real handle on what we're doing here.
Yeah.
3 movies, 1 category. Squeeze them in.
The other one problem we had with this new name is I like the name. I think it works and it ends because it was going to be called something else, which we're going to do. So today's episode is going to. We have to use our name as a category for it to make sense. Mm-hmm. Because otherwise we should really call the podcast MacRae Films, but I think there might have been a problem with that.
Probably, yes.
So this first category in this podcast is films with benefits.
Isn't that clever?
Isn't that fun?
Haven't we been hilarious?
Didn't we do well? Now the problem with this category, let's start with some problems.
Sure.
What exactly did we mean?
I have 2 separate categories within the category.
Yeah.
One of them I struggled with.
Uh-huh.
Actually, no, I've probably got about the same amount on each side of this list.
Uh-huh.
So films with benefits, like People on the Dole.
Yeah.
And then films with benefits is just like Friends with benefits, isn't it?
Oh, so you went for it.
So
Okay.
for benefits. Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Do you
think
know another category I should have gone for was like films that came out the DVD release where you got like a free toy with it. You remember when they did all the?
Hang on.
So like they did the Lord of the Rings, for example,
And
they did like a special edition one, and it came with like a big statue of Gollum hung over them.
Sure. I mean, I think the collector's edition is a thing.
The collector's edition DVDs. So the benefit would be the toy or the statue or whatever it is you got with it.
DVD with toys. Okay.
Toy or memorabilia.
So I've gone along the same sort of route. So doll movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I sort of expanded that out to joblessness and or people. Yeah. And then instead of Friends with Benefits and a kind of a winky kind of way, I just called that one films about shagging your mates.
Okay.
But
yeah.
In my defence, there's no G on shagging at the end. It's just an N apostrophe.
Shagging.
Yeah, shagging your mates.
Yeah.
But then I also tried to come up with a list of films that give you something more. So you leave with having more than the sum of its parts. You've left the movie theatre or your lounge, or potentially your best friend's bedroom.
In our situation, it would be the house, because that was the whole point of us doing this, to not go to the cinema.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
the movie season.
So you have to go for a walk or something.
Yeah.
And you kind of, it stays with you.
Yes. Okay. Interesting. Yeah.
But
I haven't done that, so that will be you.
I don't think that works. Well, I'll just do that quickly. It didn't really work with me. The Matrix, They Live, Arrival, AI, Blade Runner, Eternal Sunshine, Inception, and Syndiconi, New York, which I haven't seen.
Syndiconi?
Gee, what's it called?
Okay, I think that sounds more like the one with Philip.
Philip Seymour Hoffman, but one is not playing a paedophile, yeah.
I think that's very subjective.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it was basically just like weird little sci-fi film. So I don't think that really sounds like...
I mean, Eternal Sunshine, of course. I think about that once a day, I feel like.
That's not going to go in that category.
Absolutely not. There are certain movies we come back to, and this is one of them.
But I tell you what, that Matrix film, and it's an interesting category that came from this. I was trying to work out what it was. Altered version of studio logo.
Oh, that's good.
And that's a good category,
like
right? Yeah, so when the pre thing comes up,
like there's the Harry Potter ones do.
Yes,
that as well.
Yeah. I think there'd be some good.
Is it Warner Bros specifically, or other things too? Oh, because they do it for DreamWorks. I think with shouldn't give too many away, because we'll do this as a category.
I think so.
At some point. So yeah, we come up with categories throughout the show.
Yeah, we do.
And we write them down, and then we pop them up on our website. And actually, you can vote on them, I think.
You can vote on the one that comes to the next podcast.
Yeah.
So don't forget to give your feedback.
And don't forget to follow us on Twitter.
Oh, yes. Do that. We'll do that at the end.
We'll mention it at the end. Sorry, I've been drinking my cup of tea this whole time, and I've just... Hang on. Okay, I've finished it now.
That's a proper Radio 4 gulp.
That was a nice gulp, wasn't it?
The Archer's just like, I've just got to go.
That was a real one. We didn't add that in post.
No.
We don't do post. We don't do post in this podcast.
This is my stage whisper. Oh, I didn't.
Oh, that was rubbish.
Rubbish.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that didn't work out.
So on the doll films.
Yeah, okay. I feel like the most obvious one is I, Daniel Blake.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, well, what else? So that was the first one that came to mind, right? So that's always, whenever I do one category, I always go, first one comes to mind, what is it about this film? How do you title this film that makes the category kind of work?
It's all about benefits.
Benefits, yeah.
He's like trying to fight the system. And it's a sad film.
It really is, isn't it?
Oh, I don't want to give anything away if you've not seen it, but...
They don't have any money.
Prepare for him not to change the government, basically.
Yeah. Social realism.
Yeah.
Is kind of the vibe, isn't it?
That's one of my favourite categories.
This also might fall under films that mention PayPal.
Does it?
Or films that have a fictional search engine.
Does I, Daniel Blake?
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
In the library.
I feel like the realism of the movies, they should have just gone with it.
You don't want to mess with the IP of Google. Oh, what do you think the cost is
to
to
use
make
the
a
Google
Google
logo.
search in a film?
Oh, 20 quid? I don't know. Yeah, something like that.
20. I think 21 or maybe more.
Hmm.
We'll look that up.
Yeah, we will.
That's a good little.
We can tweet that later, another time.
Yeah.
So the next one I had was The Full Monty.
Yeah.
Cracking film, grommet. As we always say.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cracking.
Well, it's funny. So
They get their bombs out as well. That was like a funny little extra bit.
yeah, it was. Yeah. And they did a bit of thrusting, and Prince Charles in the doll. What's he doing?
No,
He's not in the film.
No, they do the dance in the doll queue.
Yeah. Where they're sort of thrusting away.
But then in the promo for it, he went to a job centre to like look down on the Plebbingtons of the UK.
And he sort of did
He
it.
did the dance a little bit, and it's like, oh, what a charming man. He's seen this movie about the working class.
How many?
Here he is in a job centre, like goofing on it. What a lovely guy Prince Charles is.
Films about men taking their clothes off that Prince Charles, King Charles,
Oh yeah, that happened since we've
watches exclusively.
And it was just, everyone's like, isn't that fun? It's like, no, it's actually an absolute fucking disgrace. Actually.
He might have thought that's actually what we did in the doll queue.
Do you know what I think for all politicians and members of the royal family should do? And I've always thought this. Just try living a year on the dole and then tell us they're getting enough and they're buying too many tellies.
Was it Michael Portillo that he did that?
Yeah, and it changed his entire politics.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the only Tory my mum's ever respected.
Yeah.
He came out of government. She talks about it all the time.
She does. He
came out of government.
That's not actually sounds at all.
Not
and we all know Marianne can do a very passable impression. So if Full Monty's to go
my
into
mum, who many of you have never met.
Films with benefits, Full Monty, we're going to exclude it from male stripper films. Films about men taking their clothes off that King Charles watches exclusively.
The thing is that I think that's the category we're going to struggle with. Because we don't have access to his private collection. I think it depends. Is the essence of the movie the doll or the taking the clothes off? And for me, the essence of the movie is they're very poor men forced into a life of taking their clothes off to make a bit of molar.
But bizarrely, I think it's more...
Also, there's a good tie-in because the TV series just came out on Disney.
I was just about to say.
So it's actually really good SEO for us right now.
I suppose so. Not that we actually do that kind of thing, but would it not fit better in a category of films that spawned a TV show?
No.
Or films that spawned a musical?
There's like plenty of other ones.
Films that spawned a musical?
There's many other ones that could go into that category.
That's true.
There are so few films about people on the dole. And it's a strong choice, you've got to admit.
It is a strong choice, and that's why it's my third choice. My second choice was The Wind That Shakes the Barley.
Never heard of it.
Irish poverty.
I
can't remember really. But they're not technically on the dole, just very poor.
Yeah, then it's not.
They haven't got benefits then.
Yeah, no. Because I thought about that other one. And I was like, well, they're actually not on the dole in it.
Yeah.
You could think of any, like, Ken Loach movie.
Yeah.
Like, it could be any of these. It's like, no, they've just got northern accents. Or they've just got, like, regional accents. It doesn't mean they're on the dole. Because I also put down Train Spotting.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's an actual scene. They are on the dole, right?
Yeah.
In T2, they actually go into the job centre, I believe.
Terminator 2.
Train Spotting.
Train Spotting 2. Yeah, sure.
So yeah, Train Spotting was another one for me.
Well, Train Spotting for me...
I don't think Train Spotting could go into this category.
The other categories it could go into: Filthy Toilet.
Yeah.
Addiction.
Baby's head spinning round.
Kicks in the groin.
Yeah.
Sean Connery impersonation.
Handsome men with shaved heads.
Head twisting.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then I also wrote, it needs to be in a trio with a film called Adam and Paul, which is a charming little Irish film.
What is your thing with Irish movies tonight?
Hey.
You're getting back to your roots.
Yeah.
Hanrahan.
Yeah, if the Irish passport office listening, expect an email from me soon.
And in a few years, me too. The other one is not a UK one, but Precious, based on the novel Push by Sapphire. She's very much on Social Security.
Okay, yeah, I think that's a good one.
That is one of the movies where, I'm sure I've said it on this podcast before, I very nearly had to walk out of the film because it was just so sad. And it was relentlessly sad. I got to about, I think, 2/3 of the way through. And if my friend hadn't been there, if I'd been there on my own, I probably would have left.
I struggle to remember it because very soon after that film, she took a role in the TV series American Horror Story, where she played one of the witches, which has an equally sad thing. And there's a whole thing where she put her hand in the fast food drive. I can never remember if it's from that film or if it's from there.
But there's obviously famously Mariah Carey in it as an actress, no makeup, being the woman giving out with Social Security and helping out with housing and stuff. What do they call those people? Social workers.
Social workers. Famously.
That's a good one, actually. Like famous people who have dowdy roles where they're not wearing much makeup.
With dowdy roles.
Yeah.
I'll make sure I spell rolls correctly. Well, that'd be like a bakery thing. Here's one. Mm-hmm. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh, they're not on the dole, though.
They must be on benefits.
The dad works in a toothpaste factory screwing the pension, I don't think counts.
Well, Daniel Blake's on the pension, isn't he?
No, I thought he was on disability.
He's on disability. Is that benefits?
Yeah.
Is that the dole?
They call it disability benefits.
Oh, we should probably
point out. They used to.
So Marianne MacRae, having said, was a social worker, he used to work in...
I wasn't a social worker.
Exactly.
I was a grunt in a job centre.
Is that your official title, was grunt?
Yeah, grunt.
Oh.
No, I was an administrative executive, I think.
And this was before like the really nasty stuff came in, right?
It was just... We had the very tail end of the Labour government. I was working there when David Cameron was elected. And it was literally overnight. They were like, take away all these things. So technically I was working with 18 to 24-year-olds. My extra little job just got cancelled overnight. It was like, we're not running those schemes for 18 to 24-year-olds anymore. So you're back to just normal job centre business. I was like, that's a real shame, because this was my dating pool.
Wow.
I'm joking.
She's not.
I had...
How do you think we met, Rita?
I had at least 2 stalkers whilst I worked there.
I know. Well,
very creepy.
Please tell other people.
I know, I was just thinking about it the other day. I had so I was about 22 when I worked there. One guy had a 17-year-old daughter, and he would not leave me alone. They had to move him to a different job centre. And then another guy managed to get the number for my desk phone, and he rang me up and invited me to a poetry reading because he knew that I wrote poetry. And I was like, I gave away too many personal details here.
Yeah.
He was just telling me that he liked to write, and I was like, oh yeah, write me too. And I told him, and then he was like inviting me out to a poetry reading, and I could not get him off the phone. And a few times he came back in and was like, oh, I'm really keen to come and sit at my desk. And I was like, no. He was, at that time, I'm sure he was like 55 or something. Like, this is not okay.
Yeah.
But, you know, me being a very naive 22-year-old, just like, oh, these poor lonely people, I should chat to them.
Yeah.
And for them, let me be clear, for the most part, everyone was very nice. Everyone was very lonely.
Even the stalkers were nice to a certain point. You know what you're saying?
No, or the other stalker who
Give
had
a stalker a chance.
The stalker who had the 17-year-old daughter
also
would sometimes come in with a newborn baby. He wore like shoes without socks, like dress shoes with no socks, and then would ask me if I wanted to go to a restaurant, and it's like, maybe there's something you're not telling me, but I don't think you can afford to take us both to a restaurant for starters.
There
you go. That's my stalker story.
That's your stalker story.
Movies with stalkers.
Movies with stalkers.
Films with stalkers, sorry.
We should get our
let's get our brand right.
Nomenclature. Parasite.
Are they on the dole? No.
I think so.
They've all got jobs.
Oh yeah, beginning they do. But I've got it written down here.
Okay. I've got Love on the Dole.
Love on the Dole, what's that?
I've never seen it. But when I typed in movies about scenes with job centres,
yeah.
Love on the Dole kept coming up.
Yeah.
No idea what it's about.
A Taste of Honey
Uh-huh.
was a film in the 50s,
Uh-huh.
which was like a fictionalised documentary about. No, that's Cathy Come Home. A Taste of Honey is a play by Sheila Delaney about a single mum in the 50s.
I might have a copy of that I stole from someone.
I think you might have stolen it from me.
No,
I used to have a copy of it. I don't have one anymore.
It's definitely not from you.
Oh.
I had it from before we met.
Really?
Yes.
So, okay.
I also have. I've got another couple again that I've not seen. A movie called Herself, a movie called Claudine, and one called Runaway Father. Don't get any ideas. But I can't tell you anything about them because I'm going to say I've got a date on when we made these lists. 26th of April. As we've made clear, a lot has happened since then. So I don't know why I wrote those ones down. I've got 8 Mile.
Oh, right, yeah.
I think he's on Social Security, right?
I've not seen it, actually.
I've not seen 8 Mile either.
We should watch that.
We should watch it.
Yeah. Also, this is so far I'm not enjoying it. I don't think it would be a...
It would be a really bleak.
Really bleak.
But maybe the saving grace here is Mrs Doubtfire.
Fuck off.
He's on benefits.
Is he?
And he's got a social worker. He doesn't have a job, does he?
He's working for the dinosaur company. The toy...
But doesn't he get sacked, though?
And then he gets... No.
Because he takes the job as Mrs Doubtfire.
I think he's doubling up.
That's later in the movie, though, right? Doesn't he? He gets sacked from his voiceover job. Then he comes home and has the big crazy party, and then he gets divorced.
We've got to see this film again.
We really must.
Cannot wait to
Mrs
watch
Doubtfire is one of the movies we cannot put into a category.
Yeah.
Because it's just it's too good and it fits into too many categories.
So the main category it will fit into is Pierce Brosnan being hit with a lime. Mm-hmm. We're yet to find the two other films to really complement that one.
We almost called our podcast Pierce Brosnan Gets Hit with a Citrus Fruit.
Or the Pierce Brosnan... What was it? The Pierce Brosnan Conspiracy? Or something like that.
Something like that,
yeah. The Big Lebowski.
Uh-huh. Is he on...
I think so.
Benny's?
See, I may have been a bit looser with it than just someone who's like job seeking or unemployed as opposed to on benefits.
I mean, you would think they must be on something if they don't have a job, right?
Well, so another example is about a boy where he gets like a habit every month because of residuals. Mm-hmm. But it's not quite the same thing, is it?
No, because then there's loads of movies where you could be like, they're a trust fund person. I guess it's not a trust fund necessarily.
Unemployed without employment.
No, again, but there's still loads of.
Well, okay. I've got all sorts of fun things we've skipped over here. No. Films that playfully. So Willy Wonka. Films that playfully refer to male genitalia in the title.
Oh yeah, that's a good category. Yeah. Write that one down. Yeah.
Would you write down playful male genitalia?
Yeah, great.
Films of the Chocolate Factory.
Interesting. Yeah.
Grandfather-grandson relationship.
Oh, boring.
Yeah, well. Out of Control Elevator.
I quite like that one.
Goose.
But it's not out of control. He's got all those buttons to control it.
That's true. A Goose of Gold. There's different elevators, maybe. I don't know. A Goose or with Golden Egg films and films with industrial espionage.
That's good.
Hey,
Excuse me, sorry. Big yawn on there. We don't. There's no post, so just live with it.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
I've also got a movie down here called It Takes Two. What is that?
I've no idea.
Can you tell me, please? 26th of April, me. No, I can't.
We'll get more up to date once we get the swing of things.
We do usually write the notes like a day or two before.
I've got King of Staten Island here, which is a film with Judd Apatow film with Pete Davidson. But I'm not. I can't guarantee.
I'd like to see Sting of Staten Island.
Yes.
That would be the movie I would watch.
Yeah. No. Of course. With Sting in it.
Yes.
Films with Sting.
Yeah.
What films?
Do you know? I feel like at this point though, with these ones, we've seen our Daniel Blake, we've seen The Full Monty, we've seen Precious, Train Spotting. We've not seen 8 Mile, but it's big, and it's like
that's got to get into spaghetti rap films, surely.
Yeah, movies with spaghetti. I
mean, if you're happy to go with Precious, Full Monty, or Daniel Blake,
I think I am.
But I feel like Precious is too big a film for you for this.
No, in all honesty, I think all the other categories for it would be even more bleak than this one. And I don't want to do that to Precious.
Films that changed your life.
I don't think it did that.
Films that you always talk about. That made you sad. Oh, well, okay. If you're happy, I have no attachment to Precious.
That's fine. Then I think those three are good. Or else, Train Spotting is too big to go into.
I think we might have already used Train Spotting somewhere.
Oops. I don't think we have. You need to put that over there because it's going to keep moving.
Okay.
So I can see it.
Okay, and then we've got the shagging with mates category.
Yes.
Which actually I struggle with more than this.
Now, obviously, there's Friends with Benefits.
Yes, I think that's probably the big
Friends
one.
with Benefits, isn't that?
Yeah. Which actually has the category of Friends with Benefits as well.
It does, yeah.
Yeah. That's
the Justin Timberlake one, right?
Yeah.
Justin Timberlake. Who's the actress?
What's she called?
I want to say Anna Kendrick, but it's not her.
No, it's not. Isn't not the one with She was Padme in Star Wars. What's she called?
Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman.
Is that one?
Natalie Portman, yeah.
There's No Strings Attached.
No Strings Attached,
which is Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah.
And they're basically the same movie, right?
Yeah.
Is it Mia Kunis in that one?
Could be.
Is that how they met?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
And then the only other one I got for this category is Mary Poppins.
What?
Well, because Mary Poppins and
Dick Van D.
Yeah, of course they are.
Oh.
Of course they are.
No. Come on.
Well, then she's been led on. She's leading him on.
She doesn't even like laughing, mate. You think he likes shagging? No.
Mary Poppins must have had a shag. She's not a virgin. You don't get that wily.
Yeah, I mean, she probably could have had the whole chimney sweep team if she'd wanted.
I'm sure she did.
Wanted or had?
Not at once.
Oh, interesting.
There's no way him and her hadn't at least had a little bit of a cup of a feel.
Like a pat on the very padded bottom of an Edwardian lady. What are they all? Edwardian, Georgian?
Yeah.
Victorian?
Yeah.
One of them.
Poppinsian.
Uh-huh.
Poppinsian
I guess what we'd have to do in this situation is interview the Umbrella, because he's seen everything.
Yeah.
So we need to...
That duck umbrella.
Yeah.
Move to the duck umbrella. I wonder if that's going to be as popular as you can imagine. And so it makes me think Mary Poppins, there may be other categories that this will fit into, and Friends with Benefits.
Yeah.
Shagging
I've got another few.
What else you got?
Zach and Miri make a porno.
They're not married?
They're just best friends.
Okay.
Friends with Kids. That one just came up on a search. I think it's basically Friends with Benefits, but they have sex with kids.
Is it the sequel, maybe?
No, I don't think so.
Friends who have unprotected sex.
I think what it is a single guy with a child and a single lady with a child and then they become like a couple, maybe. Anyway, something called The Freebie. I've forgotten what it is now. Let's move on. Love and Other Drugs. That's the one with Anne Hathaway and Jake Gyllenhaal. And she's like, oh, let's just have loads of sex together. And he's like, okay, I like you now. Let's have a relationship. And she's like, no, I've got cancer.
Oh, that's a sad ending.
I don't know. I can't
So
remember
is
if
the
she
other
dies.
drugs chemo?
Yes. Love and Other Drugs. You see, it's very clever. You see?
If it was love and
But then it's like, oh, well, they're not really friends.
love and cancer would
Yeah.
Love and Other Drugs makes it feel like a party film.
Fucking the tumour away. That would probably be a better. That would be a better name for it, actually.
Films with tumours.
Sure. Up in the Air.
This
is like
flying film, the George Clooney film.
He won Best Actor for that, I think, or he
Did
was
he?
nominated for it at
Did
the
we watch that?
Oscars. No, he didn't. And I actually think it was like they thought it maybe wouldn't be taken as seriously as it was, or something. But then he meets someone on a plane, and he's like, "Let's just be no strings attached." And then obviously falls in love with her.
So they must have seen the film No Strings Attached.
I guess so, yeah.
Then
George Clooney was like, "Wait, let's remake that."
Mile High Club films must be a category, right? Something there.
Probably, yeah.
Movie
Movies set entirely on a plane. That's good.
Set.
Movies set in small spaces.
Okay, hang on. What, in this case, a woman's vagina?
Yes, that's where it's up in the air, isn't it?
Up in the vag.
That's what we always call it.
What was that? In entirely in small spaces?
Yeah.
Okay.
Trainwreck.
Yes, with
Amy Schumer.
And
Bill Hader.
Hates being in that film. I think it was a good film.
No, of course it wasn't. It's got Amy Schumer.
I think it's probably one of the worst categories of films. So
it would be, but the thing is, it would be like, oh, we can just watch this and like.
It would be a good one
make fun of it. Like, it's a nice, easy one to watch.
This is a good.
If you were to pair Friends with Benefits the first half,
yeah,
with this half,
yeah,
that's like, oh, I've had my really hard drudge through these awful real life terrible stories apart from Full Monty.
Yeah,
and then you slip into this. It's like, oh, that was nice and easy to watch, wasn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. All right, I reckon we got this three in there, right? Unless you got.
I've got Crazy Stupid Love.
Right, sure.
I've got One Day, which is the one where they keep meeting up. But I think we might have put this in the person gets unexpectedly knocked off a bike category.
Well,
or else we were trying to fit that one in. And then When Harry Met Sally, but that's like the inverse, isn't it?
Yeah,
they're very good friends for a long time.
They're very good food
and
users.
then they benefit only after several years.
Right, yeah.
Because what's the point in having a friend if you can't benefit from it sexually?
Yes, exactly.
And that's it.
So I reckon of those, I reckon Friends with Benefits.
Friends with Benefit has to go in
Attached is almost the same film.
And then
I'm interested in this Love and Other Drugs thing. I think it goes somewhere else.
Yeah, put that. Oh, you would think it's going somewhere else.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, Zack and Miri Make a Porno is a very bad movie.
Yeah, should we just plop it in there?
I feel like Up in the Air is probably worth more than this list.
Yeah.
There's Crazy Stupid Love or Zack and Miri, I guess.
Crazy Stupid Love sounds like it's film titles without a verb.
Isn't Crazy Stupid Love the one with Steve Carell?
It could be. I don't know.
Can we ask Google?
Google? Oh, I've not got Google.
Okay, Google. Who's in Crazy Stupid Love?
Crazy Stupid Love has a cast of more than 60 actors.
Oh, bloody hell.
Here are the first three: Ryan Gosling, Annalie Tipton, and Steve Carell.
Leo Tipton. Steve Carell, isn't it? He was in The Office.
And it's Julianne Moore.
Right.
I actually think it's a better film than you think it is.
Yeah, no, I think it is. I think it should stay away from this.
Okay, let's put Zack and Miri in there.
Zack and Miri made a porno, so okay, fine.
Okay, fine. That's a category we will never watch.
But Duck Umbrella films, that is going to be a really good category, I think, when we get there.
Sure. So the next one we had was films with Lil Pals.
So this was going to be an original. This was what the title was for a while, wasn't it? Films with Little Pals. But we didn't really feel comfortable with the fact that we're... Because it's supposed to be like the podcast you listen to, and we're little people in your ears.
Which was never explained to me, but sure.
No.
I didn't know that was what it was.
No, maybe not specifically.
We were your little pals.
We were your little pals. But not little people. That's a different category.
Yeah. But it's just a category now. So films with little pals. I bloody love a little pal. I love a cute character.
Yeah.
Love a little helper.
Give an example. Give a really hot... Your best one.
My best one?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I don't know if I have a best one. But a classic example, I would say, would be Flounder from
the
Little Mermaid, for example. He's a little pal.
So you're going on the sidekick route.
I feel like I very much have, but there's also some other things mixed in there too.
Okay, so Little Mermaid.
Oh yeah, I do have it on the list. Yeah. Pinocchio.
Yes, I think
Jiminy Cricket is. I feel like the classic little pal, isn't he?
Yes.
But he plays an extra role. He's not just a little companion. He's a consciousness.
I've written him down as Jeremy Cricket. I'm going to stick with that.
One of the most famous characters in Disney.
Yeah.
Jiminy Cricket, and you've called him
Jeremy Cricket.
Jeremy Crockett.
What a boring name. If you're Mr. and Mrs. Cricket, please, for God's sake, don't name your child Jeremy.
When I think of cricket, I just think of that. Imagine that being your round of applause for doing like whatever the best thing in cricket is.
Yeah.
That's the round of applause you get.
Really lame, sort of.
Oh my God, it's like you're all exhausted because you're out on the freaking big grass lawn with no shade eating your cucumber sandwiches.
My first experience of cricket properly was when we were at an event. We brought a picnic to an orchestra. I think. And they announced over the tannoy that England had won the Ashes or whatever, and there was like this sort of really crap little celebration, and no one cares. But they stopped the fucking...
People who love cricket really love cricket. Everybody else is like, what even is it?
It's so fucking... There was a brief stage of my life, probably about 2 weeks, where I genuinely committed to trying to like it and seeing what people liked about it. Because I think it was from... I interviewed... there's two famous commentators like Lamb and Curry or something. They've got a funny little name. And they came on the radio station that I was on during Fringe. They had a Fringe show. And I have to admit, they were really good. They were older men. But they really good talk.
Did they groom you, Richard?
So there was a lot of touching. Sure. No, they grew.
He adjusts himself uncomfortably.
Um,
I am from Yorkshire and I simply don't like it. Never have, never will.
Yeah, no.
I have no interest in it whatsoever, and I don't understand how people can be passionate about it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really understand the passion behind football. I understand it even less at an absolute less than zero level for cricket.
I think it is perfectly fine for a human being to understand the rules of cricket.
Yeah, sure.
Anything more than that, and I think you're an alien.
Yeah, if you're getting excited about a match, it's like, oh, you need a different hobby.
If you've ever played a match, you're mental.
Mm.
What are you doing?
I used to work with a guy who was really into cricket, and he played. And I just remember one time he came into work, and he was so sunburned. He was like the colour of worse than a tomato, like purpley red. And for him, that was a great weekend. Like, no, I don't understand this.
Agree with this.
And it's all in the name of continuing to watch football. Cricket, sorry.
So that's it, isn't it? So anyway, Jeremy Cricket from Pinocchio. So the problem with Jeremy Cricket from Pinocchio is, I think we had a whole Pinocchio category. I'm pretty sure Pinocchio got into the Pinocchio category. Yeah. But on those, I will rattle through a few, which are in that similar vein. The Little Mouse and Dumbo.
Yes.
They're
basically the same character, aren't they?
Tinkerbell in Peter Pan.
I think she's different.
Okay.
She doesn't speak, for starters.
Dobby in Harry Potter.
Yeah, I guess I think he's a bit different. I've got him down as well, though. But I had other things for Harry Potter.
Abu in Aladdin.
Yes, again, he doesn't speak, though. but he's a little pal.
We didn't say he had to speak.
No, I know that, but he's different to Jiminy Cricket. You said you were going to go down the same route.
Sorry, who?
Jeremy Crockett.
Jeremy Cricket. The cockroach from Wall-E.
Have I put that one down?
We're not. Wall-E's not going into this category.
No, I put Ratatouille.
Yes, yeah, I can see that being a good one for this.
Tangled. We're very much with our daughter going through a Disney phase, I guess. So there's a lot of little pals in Disney. A lot of them.
Yeah, that seems to be the...
Mulan. Mushu is... He was probably actually... So Mulan is probably my favourite, at least my favourite Disney princess movie. Because it's not too princessy.
Yeah.
And Mushu was a big fave of mine. I remember my sister went to Disneyland when I was about 8.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit younger. And she brought me back a Mushu.
Toy.
A soft toy. And I still have it now.
Yeah.
It's really... He's great, I think. My neighbour Totoro.
The little Totoro guy.
I feel like that. I mean, I get that Totoro is large, very large. I'd still call him a little pal.
Oh, I thought that...
All of them.
I thought Totoro's little pal. Little
yeah, I do. Them officially.
Yeah.
I still think Totoro's like he's a pal. Because I wanted to put in Big Hero 6 as well.
Well, you see...
And he's like a little pal, but he's huge.
Actually, there's a whole other category of big pals.
Okay.
Like Iron Giant kind of thing.
In that situation, we'd have the small Totoro pal.
But you can only have him in one film.
We're not having it this... My neighbour Totoro's not going in this category.
I added in About a Boy for this one. Because
Interesting.
He's got a little mate with him, isn't he?
Yeah. I don't want to put About a Boy in this game.
Big Daddy, then.
Yeah, that's an interesting route. Hadn't thought of that. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
I've done, yeah.
The aunt, at the very least, is a little pal who is actually quite a big pal to them.
Yeah.
Inner Space. I go on about this film all the time, where the guy gets shrunk down
Yeah.
and injected into someone.
I should watch this one.
It is. I can't remember. We might have put that in something else.
Well, I'm sure we have. But what's the little pal? Oh, because he's literally a little pal.
Yeah, and he's like goes into someone's body. He gets shrunk right down to the size of a...
I've put Austin Powers Mini-Me.
I think I might have put that down. Did I? If not, I thought of it. And then I was like, oh, is that poor taste? I don't know.
Narnia. The little mouse.
Reaper Cheap.
Reaper Cheap.
Which movie is this?
Whichever one.
They did do
Prince Caspian, he's in it a lot.
I think so. I hate Reaper Cheap.
Do you hate Reaper Cheap?
I really do hate Reaper Cheap.
Oh, Reaper Cheap's a legend.
Oh, he irritates me. I don't want him as my little pal.
All right.
You can write it down, but he's not going
No.
to.
Toto and Was.
Yeah, I think I put The Wizard of Oz.
I'm putting down the film Was.
Yeah.
I prefer that as a title.
I've got Was. Inside Out, because they're all kind of little pals in your mind, aren't they?
Yeah, they're doing a sequel,
I know. I thought it was already going to be out soon. The Indian in the Cupboard.
Yes, this is ideal.
I freaking love that film. I love that book. I'm sure it's been cancelled by now, but I absolutely loved it when I was a kid.
Let's start the campaign to uncancel the possibly cancelled
And
Indian in
then,
the Cupboard.
the first time we went to your parents' house, I found a copy of that book in your bookshelf.
Did you?
And I was like, oh my God, I want to sit and read this.
Uh-huh.
It's been 10 years. I've not read it yet. But it's on my list of things to do is to reread The Indian in the Cupboard.
Yeah.
But that's a good little movie.
Surely you could read that with our little child.
Not yet.
Well, no,
Eventually.
Yes. when she's 36.
I'm sure. Shrek.
Shrek. You think Donkey is...
He's a little pal.
I think he's borderline.
What, you mean main cast?
Well, Flounder's main cast.
Is he? I'd say Sebastian is main cast.
He'd be a little pal.
Yeah, he would. But
I think
don't
it comes down to me a little bit of ratio of size. And I think Donkey is half the size of Shrek.
He's a little pal for me.
Shrek's going somewhere else. There's no way he's going in this.
No, for sure, but still. The Green Mile, Mr. Jingles, the little mouse.
Okay.
Who has one of the saddest stories, but also one of the most heartwarming in the end.
The mouse.
I have to say Green Mile's not going in this category.
Yeah, no, I didn't think so.
But I just mentioned
I mean, it could really go in a category with 8 Mile. Not for spaghetti rap films, but Mile films.
Yeah, Mile movies. The whole 9 miles. I know it's the whole 9
The
yards.
Frasier film, when that comes out, that'll be a Miles film.
Over the Moon. Bungie.
Oh, yeah.
Our daughter was obsessed with this movie when she was about a year ago. She really, really loved it. And it's such a cute film if you've not seen it. It's on Netflix. There's quite a few Little Pals in it, actually. And it's got the little brother. He's got a little frog. She's got the bunny. There's, what's the name of the little green guy? It's one that begins with a G.
Oh, yeah.
There's Jade Rabbit. There's all the little luminary citizens.
Yeah.
Tons of Little Pals in that.
I think there's too many. I think that's a world of little guys. And you want to have one person you sort of point to.
I would say Bungie would be the one I would point to.
Bungie goes off for most of the film.
No, she's not.
She's knocking about with Jade. She's falling in love with Jade Rabbit.
She's the girl's grief crutch.
Listen, this is the big one that you're missing. Scarface. Because he says
I've
hello
never
to
seen
his
Scarface.
he says hello to his little friend.
Oh yeah, interesting.
But that should really be reserved for films where someone has their face covered in cocaine.
Castaway. Wilson the Ball is one of my favourite Little Pals.
Yes. Oh, right, yeah.
And it is a very important character to the movie too.
I think it's too...
I think I love the movie Castaway.
I think you do too. I think it's a pretty good film.
I think I've seen it twice, maximum 3 times, and I would happily watch it again and again. I love it.
I think this is for a different category.
Uh-huh.
For example, like Castaway films, I think would probably be its category.
Wilson is... He is a very important character. He's pivotal.
Oh, no, I'm not disputing that.
Alien, the cat Jonesy.
Jonesy and Alien.
Yeah. But I'm annoyed at cats at the moment because they've come in and broken my potatoes.
Yeah, I know.
We've become gardeners and we've grown some beautiful potatoes and a bloody cat has jumped on them and snapped them. We can't prove anything.
I've realised, off of my Scarface little friend thing, I've got a sub-list of films about where you refer to a small penis as your little friend.
Right. This is all you.
One called Bucky Larson, Born to Be a Star, American Pie, and Bruno, where the penis is a character.
I don't want to put any of them in this category.
No?
This is meant to be like cute.
But then I also tried to explore the kind of the Jeremy Cricket thing, which is like the moral guidance on your shoulder.
I know, that's what I thought we started with.
I couldn't think of a single other
Jiminy
film.
Cricket.
I couldn't think of a single other film.
Yeah.
TV has a bit more. It's a weird trope. It doesn't come up as much as you think.
I guess Mushu is kind of a guide in a way. He's like the ancient dragon that's come back to life, right? And then I suppose also Ratatouille, you could say, he's guiding the guy in a different way.
What's the mouse called? Remy.
Kes.
Yeah.
But I think Kes can't go into this category. I've never even seen it, and it's a film that means so much to me.
Yeah.
Harry Potter I put down because of the house elves. They've got pets, haven't they? They can have a pet.
Yeah.
And he's got Hedwig. And there's that rat that turns into an evil guy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, yeah. It's like his rat braid, isn't it?
But we'd have to pick a specific Harry Potter.
And then a specific little mate.
Yeah.
Little buddy.
Ron's Gone Wrong. Ron Gone Wrong.
That's a great film.
Again, I don't think it got very much.
Does he have a name?
He's Ron.
Oh, right.
The little robot is Ron.
Ron's Gone Wrong, yeah.
And then Short Circuit.
Yeah. I think these are more cute robots.
Yeah, I feel that.
Cute robot season.
So when I say Alien can't go into this category.
No chance.
There's The Lion King as well, Timon and Pumbaa. I guess by your Shrek logic, it would have to just be Timon. Because Pumbaa's too big to be a little pal.
Like Mufasa Zazu would make much more sense. He'd be,
Sure, I mean, there's other examples.
But I like he's not doing this film. I've also got, just to run through really quickly, Hoggle and Labyrinth.
He's not a little pal, he's a piece of shit.
Ted and Ted.
He's not friendly though, is he?
Paul and Paul.
Not seen it.
Yoda and Star Wars.
I nearly put him down, but I feel it's basic.
E.T. and E.T.
Yeah.
Rocket or Groot in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, I'd put Baby Groot.
Baby Groot. Boo in Monsters Inc.
Very cute, yeah. Interesting.
Because I feel like actually this category is... So this is a category that has strength. That I'd like to imbue with some quality films.
Yeah. I did put Peter Pan and Hook, and it is for Tinkerbell. I guess in Hook she can talk. And she is a bit more of a... She's a bit more of a moral guide, but she's also trying to tempt him away from his wife.
Yeah.
In that one.
You could, if you want to get Tinkerbell in, you could do Tinkerbell and Tinkerbell because she's got a mouse called Cheese.
Is she?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I don't think I've watched that film enough.
You've not watched it?
How do you know about that then?
Oh, I watched it the other day.
Okay, there you go.
Just on my own. Charlotte's Web.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
Five on an American's Tale, but he's more of the main character.
No, he's the main character.
But
I would say that E.T. is the main character in that case. Do you mean that the little boy is his little pal? Or
the E.T. Yeah, well, yeah, I think you're right. Well, so saying that, I wonder if Ratatouille and Mulan make it into this category.
I'd be happy with that. I'm happy to put... Mulan's a big one for me, but I would be fine with it going in here.
I worry about Ratatouille in terms of kooky couple cooking. Is that happening in that?
They're not a couple, though.
But is there something else we need it for?
I guess there's movies with delicious-looking plates of food.
Yeah. But I think there's enough we could get around that. Little Mermaid I'm happy to throw in. Yeah.
Oh, I had another one, actually. I Am Legend. He's got a dog in that.
Yeah, I think dogs are a different category entirely.
Yeah. I think nothing from my second page can go in. Wizard of Oz, I guess we can't really put that in, can we? I think Mulan, I'm happy for it to go in here.
Yeah?
Because it's a cute category and it's one of my favourite films.
Okay. Well, what about Indian in the Cupboard?
I was literally about to just say that.
So I think that's pretty good.
Ratatouille, Mulan and Indian in the Cupboard. It's a very kid one, isn't it?
Well, you're not going to have many mature films with little pals, are you?
I mean, there is Guardians of the Galaxy 2 we could put in as a throwaway one, but I'm happy for it to not be a throwaway category.
I'm very happy not to really put many Marvel films. The Marvel films, they are... I can't really think of an individual Marvel film. They're always just like bleed into each other so much that the worth of any single one doesn't really stand on its, you know?
I do. I get it. Yeah, I'm happy with those.
All right.
Oh, the only other one that I had was Fern Gully, but that would probably go in like the Rainforest is Dying category. There, category 2, done.
Just say the Rainforest is Dying.
Technically, we've done 3 categories now.
Yeah.
Do we want to go on with the last one?
Yeah, because this was the People's Vote. So the People's Vote last time...
All those many months ago. 7 months ago.
And I think it's the start of something beautiful here.
Films with 6-word titles.
Now, I will be spelling 6 with the number 6 at the beginning of the word.
Interesting.
Just so you know.
Yeah, that's fine.
Now, obviously, we're quite limited as to what these films are. There are a surprising amount of films with this many things. I thought it was quite nice to try and draw out something about the category. Yeah,
I found a lot of movies with a colon in it. And I feel like those ones don't really count for me.
Okay, so all right, so colon films. What are your best colon films?
Right, we've got Alvin and the Chipmunks, The Squeakquel.
Uh-huh.
An American Tale, Five All Goes West.
Uh-huh.
Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy.
Yeah.
Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery.
Yeah.
Bridget Jones, The Edge of Reason.
Uh-huh.
I think they're the only ones I wrote down. I also wrote down Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me, then realised that's 7 words.
I've got Batman versus Spider-Man, Dawn of Justice.
Yeah. It's a colon.
Yeah. I've got Anchorman as well. With one of the things that so I think that's a category in itself.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably other things to get in there, but I think let's not include those. One of the strong things I found was an emphasis on the person in the thing.
Oh.
Right? So you got the man in the iron mask, the old man with the gun, the man who knew too little, the kid who would be king, the men who stare at goats, the girl with all the gifts, the man with the golden gun.
I didn't have any of those ones on my list. We must have gone to different websites.
We must have done.
The girl with the dragon tattoo, I guess, would fall into that.
Yeah.
So you mean like a collective?
I wonder if they feel like...
Would that be like 3 men and a little lady?
Maybe. No. I think it's the noun in the, or like preposition.
So the only one I've got in that case is the girl with the dragon tattoo.
Girl with the dragon tattoo. I think that fits into that.
Hmm.
But the person in the thing, I think, is also its own sort of subcategory.
Mm-hmm.
But then there are ones that come out that are a bit more interesting as sentences, and I think that's maybe where, like, the perks of being a wallflower.
Yeah.
I like that as a...
But the classic one here is 10 Things I Hate About You.
We must have that in something
It's a
else.
big movie. I don't think we've put in anything yet, because I feel like we've mentioned it several times, and it's like, oh, it's a big movie. Don't know if that's gonna be going in anywhere. It's one, I'm sure we've said it before, movies where someone just breaks into song that's not a musical.
Yeah.
Like does a pop of karaoke in there.
I think there must be. We can't use that in this one.
No, I agree. The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas.
Yes, perfect.
In my mind, that's got
Dolly Parton in it.
yeah, but then I also mix it up with Big Trouble in Little China for some reason, and it's got Kurt Russell in it too, in my mind. But I know it's not. I don't think it's got him in it anyway.
In the Heat of the Night.
Yeah, I don't have that one. Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, Richard.
No, there's no way we're using that.
That's one of Richard's favourite films. Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen.
Yeah.
Don't Tell Mom, the babysitter's dead.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that should come under unexpected parentheses.
Oh, okay. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. It's not going in this case.
Imagine. We'll just throw it in this one, shall we?
I can't imagine.
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm. I didn't get that one. He's just not that into you.
I've emphasised that.
Yeah. Should we put that one in?
I think so.
He's just not that into you.
Because it should be 7, but it's been condensed down to 6.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's just not that into you. Let's get that one. He's just not that into you. Right underneath that, I've gotten don't mess with the Zohan.
Oh, that's one of the worst films I've ever watched. I absolutely hated that. Every second of it, I was like, please can we turn this off? How Stella Got Her Groove Back.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I like that. I have seen that movie.
What is it about?
It's about a woman, I think she gets divorced maybe, and then she ends up going on a holiday and she just meets a handsome man and does lots of sex with him.
Is there dancing?
Probably, yes. He might be, maybe he's like a salsa teacher on a cruise ship or something like that.
No, that's definitely a whole category here. Come on.
What, salsa dancing on a cruise ship?
I mean, maybe it's not salsa dancing on a cruise ship. Or maybe it is. I'm thinking
names of beer in the title.
Dance empowerment is what I'm thinking.
Okay. Interesting. There must be some dancing in it. It's got Tay Diggs
Oh, sure,
is
yeah.
the guy. And I think I watched it during my I'm in love with Tay Diggs phase.
Well, I mean, that's the season, is it? I'm in love with Tay Diggs.
Sure.
What is this beer one? What do you say?
Is it films that have the name of a beer in the title, like Stella?
Oh, yeah.
Or I can't think of any right now. But
Airbud.
yeah.
Okay.
The Hand That Rocks the Cradle.
Yeah, that's a classic one.
I've not seen it. Is it scary? Because if it is, I can't watch it.
Well, whatever happened to Baby Jane?
Oh, what? I watched. You didn't watch it with me. The TV series about the making.
Oh,
of that.
yeah.
It's really good. And sometimes now, like the little song just goes through my head.
Whatever happened to Baby Jane?
And Susan Sarandon singing that was just great.
Uh-huh. Much casting the Sundance Kid.
Sure. I mean, I'm out of options right now. Oh no, I've got Honey, I Blew Up the Kids. Blew Up the Kid.
That's going to be something else, surely.
Yeah, like Little Boys in Red Dungarees.
Little Boys. Yeah. In red dungarees. And we will explore all these categories in our podcast as we go along.
You better believe it.
See no evil, hear no evil.
Yeah. It's just you're going to be saying things to me now because I don't have anything else to come back at you with.
Cat on a Hot Tin Roof.
Mm-hmm.
Around the World in 80 Days.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a funny story. The Flintstones and Viva Las Vegas.
Are these movies that you've seen? Or
some of them are, yeah.
Uh-huh.
These are films.
So you can elaborate then, because I've not seen any of them.
I've not seen that one.
Okay.
Flintstones and Viva Las Vegas, I don't think I've seen, actually.
Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead is... I feel like I want that to be in there.
Yeah.
What is...
Don't tell Mum. This reminds me of that time.
Oh, So I Married an Axe Murderer. That's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's got Mike Myers in it, right?
Murder. I don't think this goes in here.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I know. I want to have...
So I Married an Axe Murderer is one of those movies where you go to Blockbuster.
Yeah.
And you would see it all the time, and I'd always be like...
I wonder what that's about.
Yeah.
But it means that no one rented it ever.
Yeah,
and
this isn't a 6-word title, but I always put it in the same category as... Have you ever watched Serial Mom? With Kathleen Turner, I think, isn't it? It's like this mom who goes on a killing spree. It's comedy.
Uh-huh. Oh, wait, didn't we watch that together? And she, murdered someone because...
They were white after Labour Day.
Films you would see in a rental shop.
Yeah, I think we've written that down before.
I think we have. That definitely fills a category.
Uh-huh. So I have another half of this.
Oh, yeah.
Category.
Oh, you kept that on your hat.
Films with 6-word titles.
Yeah.
16 candles. The Ridiculous 6.
Oh, hang on. I see.
Sextuplets.
Uh-huh.
6 Underground. The Sixth Sense.
Oh, yeah.
6 Days, 7 Nights. Big Hero 6.
Oh, my God.
6 Minutes of Midnight. 6 Degrees of Separation.
Oh, my God.
With 6, you get egg roll. And that's it. So I did a Richard Hanrahan, and I was like, oh, yeah, weird way that we can approach this category. So there you go. There's some more options.
Well, let's see if there's any more. Indiana Jones Lost Crusade. Once Upon a Time in America. Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
See, you actually wrote down them all. I just didn't, but I went in my head and I was like, I don't want to write that one down.
Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels.
Never seen it, but...
You haven't?
No, I wouldn't.
It's quite good, actually. That would definitely come under its own. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. That has to be in a mashed potato
I've
epic.
seen that one.
Mashed potato films.
Don't just films that feature mashed potato.
Could be. I don't want to spoil Close Encounters for you.
I think let's put... I mean, is it a category for Anchorman?
I don't think so. even like a comedy.
What about the best little whorehouse in Texas?
Yeah, I think that's definitely there. We're not doing something I hate about you.
Mm-mm.
He's just not that into you.
Oh yeah, we did like that.
The hand that rocks the cradle.
Sure.
Don't tell Mum the babysitter's dead.
But then
Oh no, that's
feeling like I feel like Don't Tell Mum the Babysitter's Dead. So I Married an Axe Murderer and Serial Mom are already vibing with each other.
Yeah, they are vibing. There's a vibe there, isn't there?
Yeah, so
Maybe
that's our 3. Or Alvin and the Chipmunks, The Squeakquel.
I think that's colon films.
Oh, okay.
The Last House on the Left. Don't Mess with the Zohan. We need to talk about Kevin.
Oh, we need to talk about Kevin.
No, it's got to be something else, isn't it?
Yeah, like eyeball movies.
Eyeball movies?
You've never seen it?
I have seen it. I don't remember that. Eyeball movies.
Unless they changed it from the book.
Have you ever seen it?
I tried to watch it. I tried to watch it illegally on YouTube.
Sure.
And it was absolutely... The quality was just the absolute worst.
Yeah.
So no, I haven't seen it.
Okay.
I've read the book though.
Okay.
So...
I remember when someone was reading the book. And, yeah. They were really... It was the hot book of the summer.
Yeah, I think I found it in a charity shop. Probably years after it was a thing.
Uh-huh.
But it was rough reading. For sure.
Well, there you go. Wait, so, what about Perks of Being a Wallflower?
Sure. I think there are other categories that could go in.
Like what? Wallflowers?
Have you seen it?
No.
Okay, there's other things that could go in. I don't want to spoil anything for you.
I need a season title, otherwise it's going.
Oh, I see. Movies where kids stand up in the back of a car and with a roofless car, topless car.
Back of a roofless car.
Yeah.
Roofless.
I can't remember the name. A utility truck or something. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, a utility truck.
Well, it's not what they're driving. They'd stick their head out of the sunroof. Movies where people stick their head out of a sunroof and go like, woohoo!
That's going to be, what was that, Big? I mean, that was in the trailer. I'm sure there's a Richard Pryor film who does it. Bruce's Millions or something.
Oh, there's movies where... Yeah,
we'll get into that. We'll do that on a different day. Maybe that's what we'll do next time.
In
the heat of the night. Day the Earth Stood Still.
Look, I feel like those 3 that you've just said
are
absolutely fine.
This has to go to South Dancing on a cruise ship for sure.
No, The Hand That Rocked the Cradle, that's how Stella got her groove back.
Oh, fine. That's fine. Yes.
Best Little Whorehouse in Texas.
Sure. He's just not that into you.
And then...
The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. Okay, yeah, happy then.
Fine.
What was this one then? What was this one?
Stella got
her groove back.
How Stella got her groove back.
Okay. Right, okay, fine. Done it. So officially, 6-word title films. He's just not into you. You're the best little whorehouse in Texas, and The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. That's going to be quite an interesting...
Yeah, that'd be a good mix, I think.
The Color Films one. Just quick sort that out. Alvin and the Squeakquel, definitely. Bridget Jones, Edge of Reason. And Batman vs Superman: The Dawn of Justice.
Because we just don't want to put them...
I really don't.
Because the other movies are too good to put anywhere else.
Exactly. And then the Thing and the Thing films. Man in the Mask.
No,
don't bother with that one. Don't bother. Great.
The end.
There you go. So that was a podcast. We did it.
Yeah, and it only took 1 hour and 13 minutes.
Yeah, of our time.
Nobody sneezed.
Nobody farted.
Nobody gave birth. One of us could have. Is all I'm saying.
I held it in. So there you go. Thank you for listening so much. If you want to follow us, I'm at The Hitch on Twitter.
I mean, I'm at Marianne MacRae on Twitter, but I don't go on there.
You don't go on there.
It is a battlefield, isn't it? And only a fool walks into a battlefield.
We are waving our white flags.
Yeah.
But you can also follow
on
us.
Instagram.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
It's Marianne14, but with 4 M's at the beginning. Like Marianne14.
Yeah, nice.
So you can find me on Insta if you want to see any juicy little pictures. Etc.
And then we're gonna have a discussion about the artwork. I'm hoping the artwork
yes
comes. We need to do that, but anyway. But you can please, there'll be a poll where I take 3 random categories and you can vote on them from our Twitter feed, which is me 3 the number 3 _ comedy.
So at me3_comedy.
Or it's just me3 comedy in one word, I can't remember. But I'm pretty sure it's that.
Okay.
You can go to me3comedy.com for all of our podcasts. You're already listening, it's great. But this is going to be on Spotify, it's going to be on iTunes.
Share it with your mums. Share it with your dads.
Share it with your dads.
Maybe not your grandparents. I don't think they watch films.
They don't know these things.
No.
But not young people anymore, because they just watch TikToks.
Yeah, that's
They don't
true.
know what a film is. They wouldn't know what the handle that rocks the cradle is about.
But that's why they need this podcast.
They do. This is a really good...
Because we're categorising all the movies for them and telling them whether they want to watch them or not.
Yeah.
Even though we've not seen some of them.
And most of them, actually. Most of
It's
them.
true. We just get them off lists online.
I don't. I really put the effort in.
No,
Every single film I've mentioned, I've
for
watched end to end.
Each category,
Yeah.
I'll sit down and I look at it and I go off the top of my head first.
Yeah, of course.
Then I go to my good friend Google.
You go to Google.
And Google comes up with way more than I do.
I do a Ecosia because, you know, I actually care about the environment.
I prefer burning trees down, actually.
Oh, I had noticed that.
So that's why I use Google, because for every time you do a
Search,
search,
they
they
just
burn a tree down.
Burn it to the ground.
Yeah.
Let's get rid. Thank you so much for listening. If there was too much drivel this week, let us know.
Yeah, please.
But most importantly, give us a 5-star review. God's sake.
In The Guardian.
Yeah. So if you are the editor of The
We
Guardian...
want to put it on our posters for the Fringe.
Yes, which we're not going to do. We're not going to do a Fringe show with this.
Absolutely not.
But we like doing it, and it's fun, and I hope you enjoy it too. So please watch some films together, because it's nice to do it, isn't it? Imagine
Sit
watching...
on the sofa, hold hands with your popcorn, and have a little movie night.
We have not... The idea of us watching 3 films in one weekend is mad.
I feel tired just thinking about it. But we've got a 3-year-old. Some of you are young people.
What's your excuse?
Child.
One of you is 27.
Is that right?
I cannot believe that. You told me earlier.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
Ridiculous.
That we know a 27-year-old.
Yeah.
We also know, we know a 16-year-old. We know a 13-year-old.
No, that's
we know a
fine.
5-year-old.
That's we can get away with that because of all sorts of other reasons.
Uh-huh.
We know, just as
and our
friends, as
with,
acquaintances, someone who's not even 30 yet. It's not even at the point where they're going like, well, I'm going to be 30 and I don't know what's going to happen.
It's quite horrifying, actually,
Yeah.
at our stage in life.
Right.
Do you know...
The sound of that, just to end the podcast before that comes out.
I'll save it for my therapist. Okay. Arrivederci.
Doodle do.
And see you again next time, motherfuckers.
On Films with Benefits.
Goodbye.
Wow.